Hi everybody, it's your favourite host Tanisha, joined with...
My name's Aaliyah.
Hi, I'm Emma.
Mary.
Guys, you didn't say your titles. Dr. Aaliyah, Dr. Emma and Dr. Mary. So thank you again for joining us. This is our third time now that we've done this.
Yeah.
So we've actually successfully done
No, because she's always doing the gang sign, so I thought you were getting
a gang sign, my friend.
Anyway, guys, let me just bring it back in. So for those who don't know,
before you do this.
we are the House of Medics. Basically, we are a group of collectives. Apart from me, I'm not a medic. A group of young collectives who are basically doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and you're not a radiologist. I always say radiology, but it's not radiology, is it?
Radiographer.
That thing. Radiographers, basically, that are excellent in their field. So we're gonna go straight into it. So this day's one is called the 2020 review. So we know so much happened last year.
What a mad year.
So
Bruh.
we're gonna go straight into it, but I think we should do an icebreaker and do a game. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Yeah? Okay, so this week's game is 2 truths and a lie. Obviously, I can't start first because I still need to think about what I'm going to say. So we'll go from you, Mary. Or do you want to start first? Or should we go
I
from
don't mind.
mine? Yeah? Okay, cool. Alright, so tell us your 2 truths and a lie.
The Lion King is one of my favourite movies. I went missing as a child and I like snakes.
You don't like snakes.
I mean,
I think you were missing as a child.
I think The Lion King is your favourite
What, you
thing.
think?
Oh,
You
sorry,
think
as
that
a
was
lie. No, hold on.
How could she go missing? Where? How?
Yeah, that's.
Stuff happens, isn't it?
No.
She could have
You know
gone
she's
missing.
easily
You know she's
distracted.
yeah.
Shoot.
Let's go with the snakes one.
What, as the lie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I feel
let's
like
do
it's
the
not,
snakes.
but I don't
Let's do
know.
the snakes then.
Yeah, the snakes is.
Wait, so you went missing as a child?
No, technically, I was missing, but I wasn't missing as well. So my parents had a visitor, and this was back in Nigeria, by the way.
This is
so
back
they
how?
thought,
Yeah,
they
that's
thought I was
cool.
sleeping. Well, I was sleeping. I was taking a nap, and they thought, oh, we're just gonna go with the person to the bus stop, like she's still having a nap. And then obviously whilst they were walking out, I woke up and I saw them, and so I followed them, and then they were going, and people were like, whose child is this? And I crossed the road by myself, just little me, and
How old
then
is he?
they heard so much noise. I don't even remember the age. They heard so much noise, and they turned around and they're like, it's me! And then my mum ran and just grabbed me. So technically,
Okay,
I
so
was
that was the
insane.
truth.
Yeah.
50-50, half lie, half truth. But okay, cool. So the snake thing was the lie.
Yeah.
What was the lie?
Okay, cool. So, Dr. Emma, your 2 truths and a lie.
Okay. I've lived in London for 11 years. That's the first one, relax. I've lived in Barbados for 2.5 months. And my granddad was a very famous, wealthy cocoa farmer who was also a chief and was really famous in Ghana.
The first one was
I
the
said
lie.
The first one's a lie.
Because
the first
you've been
one?
to Barbados for 2 months.
Yeah.
2.5, yeah, you have.
Because you used to live in
And
Basingstoke.
the last one sounded too real to be fake.
Yeah.
So the
I
first
can't
one-
even remember what the first one was, but I know it was
And she put so much effort.
The first one was you've
oh,
been
that
in
was
London
the
for
one.
11 years.
Because you used to live in Basingstoke, right?
It's based in Stoke in London.
No.
No, it's not.
London.
So that means that was
The
the
first
truth.
one was the lie.
No, that was the truth then. Because you used to live in Basingstoke.
I think the first one's a lie.
Did you used to live in Basingstoke?
Everyone vote, guys.
The first one
Too
was
much
the lie.
speculation. Okay, he said first one. He
I'm
said
saying first one as
He
well.
said first one. You're wrong.
It's the last one, isn't it?
No, the last one's real. The second one's wrong. I lived in Trinidad for 2.5 months. I visited Barbados for a few days.
You got us.
For the love of God.
You got us. Okay, Dr. Elia.
Let's see. I worked in a hospital in Margate before my current job. I had at one point 10 cats in my house, and I have no family or no cousins on my dad's side.
Second one.
The cat is
Yeah.
no. I
10
believe
is a
the
bit
cat.
I believe the cat.
What?
one.
10?
I believe
that.
the cat.
I believe
10.
that. I believe
Yeah.
that.
That's mad. That's
No, I
wild.
believe that. I'm sorry.
Leo probably taking all of them. Hundreds if she could.
At one point,
think
my
I
friend used
bet.
to call me the RSPCA.
Oh my
See?
God.
Yeah, I believe
So
that.
I know you guys go through.
But I think the other two are true.
I think the Margate thing might be true. I think the cats thing is true as well. That's my. But I think
gosh,
the cousins
good
thing is
one.
a lie. That's my. But
I think the cousins thing, yeah.
is a lie.
Dr. Emma?
I'm going with the cats.
It's the cat.
It's a lie.
Okay, wait. I had nine at one time.
Okay,
9.
close
Not
enough.
All she needed was one more.
Rate her.
Okay, my go. My granddad looks like Nelson Mandela. Is it Nelson Mandela or Mandana? Mandela, right?
Mandela. It's not a lie already.
Sorry, guys.
He's on camera, you know.
Sorry. My granddad looks like Nelson Mandela. I've travelled all over Europe and I'm left and right-handed.
You're not that.
You're not.
You're
Yeah,
not.
you're not.
Is it? Yeah.
Huh?
You're not that.
I don't believe you're ambidextrous.
Why?
Because I've never seen
Because I've never seen you
Yeah.
use your other hand.
But in what? Why would you guys be watching me using my other hand? Though?
Because that's what
We live
that's
with
what
you.
people
Yeah,
say.
it was
So mine was too obvious then.
Well, from the Mandela one, that was.
No, but my granddad.
I've seen a
actually-
picture
yeah.
of my granddad.
You met my granddad. He actually looks like Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
It's actually like,
okay.
yeah, he does. Okay, cool. So let's go into a review of 2020. So
Can I just say I got
Yeah.
100% by the way?
oh yeah, you won actually. You're right. So we have to give you a gift or something. We have to gift you in some way. Okay, cool. So what are some of the things that stood out to you guys about 2020? Obviously, there was so much stuff that happened last year. We had coronavirus. Obviously, we had loads of deaths from celebrities, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
The NHS clapping stuff, that is something that stood out to me because it was just dumb. Like, let me not lie though, I did join in.
Don't she guys with pots and pans? She's
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
She was the only one on the
no,
screen.
no, no,
Try.
I
Yeah.
was shouting, I live with 4 doctors. Like, do you remember? I was
Yeah,
actually
it's
taking part in the tapping, but it was
She even told
ridiculous.
the old woman outside, remember, that, oh, they're doctors.
Yeah, because, you know, you got to let them know. And then we had the NSARS stuff and we had Brexit as well. So what are some of the key things that stood out to you guys? Anybody can go first.
I mean, I think COVID, because COVID was so big, it almost makes you forget about the other stuff. When I think about the beginning, like, people kept asking me, oh, this COVID stuff, I was like, yeah, whatever, it's just going to be like a seasonal flu or
Something that just passes.
Yeah, I had no idea
Yeah.
it was going to be like this. So yeah, definitely COVID just, and there have been so many phases of COVID. Like at the beginning, you don't know what to do. I remember when I got moved to the COVID ward, and then there was obviously lockdown, not lockdown, tears, like so many rules, and then you go through so many like emotions, and you care, you don't care, So there's so many things.
Okay, so question just from that. So from the COVID wars last year to this year, would you say as a doctor it's much more stressful now because you kind of don't know what to expect, or you do know what to expect? Like, how is it?
So I haven't been on the COVID ward this year yet. I'm due to, so obviously I do dermatology now. I'm due to move to the COVID ward only for a week in February, but things might change because things are changing all the time. I think the general consensus, because I'm also the junior doctor forum chair at my hospital, which means I look after all the junior doctors, and I think the general vibe is that I think people are more disappointed this time because during the first peak, obviously it was new and everyone was willing to like muck in, just, you know, we need to make sure we get this under control. So I think people are very upset and feel a bit let down that, you know, months later we're still in the same position. I think people are getting tired. And it's, you know, and to see that it's worse, you know, people are dying more than they were the first time, which doesn't make any sense. Like by now we should have enough treatments, we should, you know, we should have learned enough lessons. I think it's definitely worse to work on the COVID wards now than the first time.
Right, okay. And Dr. Leah, you actually work on a COVID ward, so tell us like how that's been from the last lockdown when COVID was first announced to now.
I would say that Dr. Emma has rightly said, it is a bit more, patients are more unwell. It's weird because we now have treatments in line. We now know, okay, this person's got COVID, this is what we're going to give them. We're going to put them on Optiflow, we're going to segregate them, but it's just, I think it's kind of like the virus is mutated. It's like more contagious, if I can say that. Don't quote me.
You're a health professional, I mean, yeah, you can.
But it's like, every minute you're like, okay, we've got to close this ward, COVID breakout, close this, COVID breakout. It's like, you know what to do, but it's just so, like, this patient is, today they're okay, they're slightly getting better, then tomorrow they just go back down and you're like, you're on maximum oxygen.
So it's different every single day.
Yeah, like, it's just a bit hectic and chaotic. Like, for me, seeing it, it's quite upsetting. I mean we do know what to do with them, but it's just kind of, it's still a bit, you can look at someone and not know what way they're gonna go, which is quite upsetting. Again, I feel like we're under pressure. I'm noticing a lot more staff are feeling quite demoralised because you have everybody in the community saying, you know, COVID's this, COVID's that, and everyone has their opinions about it, but no one's actually on the ward to see it for themselves, and healthcare professionals are feeling like you don't get the backing of the community for this second one, if I'm going to be completely honest. In the first one, you know, we had the drop-offs, we had like I don't know, businesses like, here's a gift for you, here's this, well done. And I'm not saying that that's what we need, but it kind of felt like in the first one, everyone was kind of supporting it. In the second one now, everyone's fed up with the lockdowns, they're fed up with the rules, and the NHS is kind of left to stand there, and the doctors and nurses and pharmacists and all the allied healthcare professionals are all on the ward, and we kind of feel like we're just in it now, and no one's truly understanding the seriousness of it. I mean, you see things on the news, like groups are going out and everyone's doing this and that, but you don't understand that, yes, you may be fine, but there's people still dying. And the figures, the statistics, they show it's a lot worse in this one. So yeah, I'd say
the wards have been a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So just so this whole kind of episode is not just about COVID, I'm gonna go straight to you, Mary, and ask you about NSARS, because we went to the march. So tell us a little bit, for the viewers who don't know, what is SARS? Why was it important that you thought you would attend?
Okay, so SARS is I think, it was started by the government as a way of protecting the civilians. So it was a section of the police force whereby they had a special unit, which, well, it stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And they were meant to basically go out, check if people were armed robbers, and then arrest them and take them to the station and all of that. But slowly, I think because of how things are within the country, these men took it upon themselves. They see young men or young women who have, an iPhone, and they question you, like, why do you have an iPhone? I'm an older man, I have a job, I can't even afford this, so what are you doing that you can afford this? So it's almost really, really interesting how their mindset is when they see people dressing. If you have tattoos, if you have dreads, if you have an iPhone, if you dress anyway, they automatically think you must be either into fraud or you must be an armed robber. And it was really, really disgusting, because even when I started talking to families back at home, and even just friends here, people are like, they've been slapped, they've been abused, their phones have been taken. If they take you to the police station,
taken and used by the people that have taken it.
So they just take your phone, they collect your phone.
So they just still rob you, basically.
Yeah, so the people who are meant to be protecting
you,
are the ones now stealing from people. And it got worse, whereby people were saying, even if they take you to the police station, they could never, your family would never hear from you again. So people were being shot and being killed in the police station, or you'd have to pay a very ridiculous amount of money for you to be bailed. There was a really touching story of a young boy who went to his friend's baby dedication, and they arrested them from there, and they took them and they put them behind the station, and his father and his mother came and they said, we've heard that our son is here. And then they said, no, your son is in here. But as they were about to leave, the mother saw her son, and she was like, oh, that's my son, that's my son. And the guy in charge of the station said, oh, that is your son, there's nothing you can do about it, he's in my custody. And sadly, the father spent all his life, like, he sold all his properties, all his land, all his businesses to try and give the man the money to say, okay, I want my son back.
The son,
but he'd killed the son, and then he made the father go and look for the son in the river with dead bodies. And so the elderly man started turning all these dead cops around just to identify his child. But I think what was so moving about it was that, I think, and people say this, like, Nigerians are very resilient, but until you push them to the wall, that's when they will really turn around. And the movement was, it had women at the forefront. Even till today, there's so much accountability of the funds that were raised. Everyone who went out in Nigeria was fed every day. They had ice cream, they had so many things. Nobody went out and was starving. And it's like, they've done, just that whole movement has done so much that the government has done for such a long time. But it was really, really beautiful to see that young people were standing up. Even parents were telling their kids not to go, and kids were standing up and saying, you're a coward, because things have gotten this bad because your generation didn't rise up. Exactly. So it was so beautiful to see. And when we went for the march as well, even young people,
celebrities,
everybody was there. It was really, really moving to see, because people were just fed up, because they thought, okay, we can't
do nothing.
We can't do nothing. There's no Nigeria if we keep continuing like this. So it's really, really great to see, to be honest, to see such a movement within the country.
Lovely. Okay, awesome. Other things that happened this year, guys, there was a Black Lives Matter march this year as well. Who'd like to touch on that?
Not me.
What do you think about the Black Lives Matter movement as a general kind of thing? Because I know in America it's really, really, really big, but I think in the UK it's not as big. So what do you think of that whole movement, like, in general, and just what's been going on in America as well?
I don't really know what to say. It's such a touchy subject, but I mean, I definitely see why it's been sparked, why people have felt that, they need to now make this more obvious, because the things that have been happening to young Black men has been, like, really upsetting. And it's nice to see people come together to kind of support this, but it would be even better to see people working together, not just for the marching and for the protesting, but in general, like our community coming together, forming businesses together, looking out for one another, and stopping the violence on the streets and everything that's going on. I mean, if COVID has shown us anything, it's that we need each other more than ever. So I would say, I agree, it did need to be sparked, and there wasn't an issue there, but let's not just look at Black Lives Matter and say, okay, stop killing our young black men, but let's look at working together from thereafter. It's all good on raising awareness, but what are we going to do from there onwards? And it takes all of us. Yes, it now that we've got the attention about it, we need to now like continue that and say we are going to work together, we are going to get the positions that we deserve, we are going to do things that our older generation didn't really get a chance to do, but we're going to make that stand together. So I think moving forward I would like to see a lot more of that, because I'm telling you, these young black men are really, really intelligent. A lot of them that get into the wrong things, they have the greatest minds. They just have to come together and form something that the next generation can work from. So that's what I want to see.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys. So now we're just going to move on, because we don't have much time left, to something called COVID myths debunked. So some things that people might have thought are real, not real. We've heard about the chip or the implant or the vaccine makes people just start doing mad kind of stuff. So as you guys work in that specific industry, I thought it's only right that we discuss this today. So is COVID actually real? Is it a real thing? Is it just the flu? Do people just have the colds and headaches and stuff? Is COVID actually real? And everyone has to answer.
Yes.
You got to look at the camera.
Yes. Okay, so COVID is real. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Mary, tell us, how is it real, like, to you personally?
Okay, so I think for me, obviously I don't get to see it as much, but when I was at the NHS for a brief time and I saw a cancer patient who also had it as well, it's really, really shocking, because it's like, how do people still not believe this? There are people who have gone out, who have told you so many stories. You've seen people who are struggling to breathe. You've seen healthcare professionals who are literally frustrated, who are at the breaking point, and you still don't believe it.
I mean, I didn't believe it at first. I have to be honest. I didn't believe it until...
Why?
I don't know. I know, but I just thought, okay, people are just unwell. Like, they just have colds. But then, do you know what happened? Someone in my family had it, and they were like, okay, I can't breathe, I've got the fever. Like, they said every single symptom. I can't smell, I can't taste. I was like, oh, like, okay, you've actually got this COVID thing then. So that's when I started to actually believe it, because it hit closer to home. But apart from that, I was just like, oh, you've got a cold, like, it happens every year, like, you're fine. But that wasn't the case.
I think it was because also there was a lot of conspiracy going around this 5G thing, so that did obviously
that thing as well.
People are trying to, it's the government trying to do this, it's the government trying to do. So obviously that didn't help as well. But I think at the end of the day, now we've seen how far things have gone and how quick it's spreading. I really, really hope people are having some time to think about it, that this is real. Like yourself, like, I believed it was real, but I didn't think it would be like this. We thought it would be 3 weeks, and it'll be fine, it will be all of that. But then when you see someone who's already dying and now they're still literally even dying even more, it scares you to your wits, and you're like, you just have to be careful.
For me, I've had the I count myself lucky, because I feel like I watched history, but obviously it's not a positive thing, but I was able to see COVID like from the beginning. So I've got so many stories. Example, I've got I remember doing a weekend on call on the acute medical unit, and a woman came in. She'd been on a cruise from Japan, and she had like a cough, was a bit short of breath, and then we did an X-ray, and it showed she basically what we thought was a bilateral pneumonia, but people don't get bilateral. Like, why would you have a pneumonia on both sides? Like, you have a chest infection on both sides of your chest.
Okay.
People who are fit and well don't get that. So I remember we just diagnosed with bilateral pneumonia, and I remember we spoke to the infectious disease hospital, the infectious disease doctors in the hospital. We said this woman's come back from a cruise in Japan, she's got bilateral pneumonia, and they said, she doesn't meet the criteria for COVID swab. This is like at the beginning when people just didn't have a clue, and then she deteriorated. So then I remember we got the CT scan, and it just looked weird. We were like, this isn't pneumonia, like, this is weird, we've never seen anything like this. And eventually, obviously, because I was on call, I didn't see her again. But that was definitely COVID. And I've got so many stories like this where we just didn't know. And we were just learning every day. And you'd be like, I'd be on a night shift, and then someone was fine 6 hours ago. And all of a sudden, the oxygen levels are to the floor. And you're like, why? And you're thinking, pneumonias don't behave like this. So then you start looking for all the common things you do know. Do they have clot in their lungs? Do they have this? Do they have that? And it doesn't fit until we now know that this is COVID and this is how COVID behaves. So when people say it's not real, I'm just like, what even makes you think you can say that? Like, you don't look after these people, you haven't seen, how do you have the chest to say that it's not real? And it's just so disrespectful to all the people who've lost their lives. People who are fit and well without any other medical problems don't usually die from flu. They don't die from chest infections. This COVID thing is just a completely different ball game. It's, it's sometimes young people who you think are fine, they just deteriorate like that. And especially with the black people, the Indian people, and especially the men, we saw a lot of, I hate the term, but BAME men who, did so bad with COVID. And we've seen it. This is definitely not something that we've had before. This is COVID. Like, it's different. It's not, you can't attribute it to anything else. It is just COVID.
Right, okay. Thank you, Doctor. And going on to Dr. Elia, I know you work on the COVID ward, so tell us how that's been.
I mean, I've already kind of explained the wards, but in terms of, like, what everyone has rightly said, I can kind of see it. And it's not me agreeing, but it's me saying, yes, you may see an asymptomatic person and think, oh, COVID is not a big of a deal. But you guys are not seeing the severity of it. When you see a patient that if we take their oxygen away, they won't breathe. Like, as in, they're relying on everything that we do to keep them alive. And it's, we're adapting, new medicines are being launched and we're doing trials and we've done this and we've done that. But at the end of the day, it is something that is really serious, and it takes us all to look after one another. If you are going out and you think, I don't have symptoms or I don't have COVID, that person next to you might. And it's about everybody looking after each other. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Elia. Another thing as well that has been circulating on the internet is the chip. When you get the vaccine or something like that, there's a chip. Like, what? How are you meant to inject a chip in
I don't
fluid?
understand.
It must be really tiny.
I don't understand how, because the people that say this stuff are the people that eat McDonald's every day. People that, like, you're happy to swallow 20 paracetamol a day. You're happy to use other things from the medical field. But when it comes to the vaccine, it's like, that one is evil. I don't get it. You don't look after your body in other ways, but the vaccine's evil. Personally, I don't understand.
So do you haven't done any research behind it? They literally just sit down and just send this WhatsApp broadcast out.
The chain
without any
Auntie, stop following the broadcast.
any degree. But it's true. It's like, and these things are costing people's lives because some people
Now
are believing
scared to have it.
And you're making things worse than better.
Can I just add on to that very quickly? I think people are very skeptical about how quick it's taken to produce the vaccine. Let me just tell you, the amount of funding that they have just given to do this vaccine, it's because of how big this pandemic is. So usually trials will take long because there's no funding and because there's not enough groups to actually try it on. But we've got the patients, we've got the funding. That's why things are able to be done quicker. So please don't use that as an excuse. I don't want to hear it anymore.
It's brilliant.
Okay, just quickly as well, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Can one of you guys tell the viewers exactly how they need to stay safe? Because obviously we are still in a pandemic. We're in tier 4. How can people stay safe? Apart from like wearing a mask and blah blah blah, like what else can they do just to make sure they're not spreading the virus?
I think just be very vigilant, and the thing to remember about every single government initiative that's been from the beginning is not about you. If you actually realise that, in social distancing and wearing a mask and washing my hands, it's not necessarily about protecting myself from COVID, even though it is to some degree, but wearing a mask is to protect those around me. So it's not just, I feel fine, I'm fine, I want to do this, I need to do that. It really is just looking after like being your brother's keeper, basically, So follow all the guidance. I know it's not what we want to be doing right now. It's, it's a new year, we want to be up and active, we want to be out, but this thing has really shaken the whole world. So, wear the mask. Like I've seen people who said, okay, I don't believe that the mask works, but just why wouldn't you try it anyway? You don't lose anything from wearing the mask. Just put it on. If it doesn't work, you haven't lost any money. Stay at home. I know, people want to go outside. We want to be getting on with our lives, but we're really seeing the effect of the times when we weren't adhering to social distances, we weren't adhering to the lockdown. That's why the cases are going up so much. And then in terms of yourself, hygiene is really important. So wash your hands longer than 30 seconds, use soap, use hand sanitizer. If you're feeling unwell, don't chance it. Just, self-isolate. It's better to, take the L of just, I'm going to be on my own for 10 days, then potentially go out and spread it. Just be very, very vigilant. And just remember that all this is short term. We're doing this so that hopefully, we can secure our future. Yeah. It's not ideal, but it's just for a short period of time.
Lovely. Thank you, Dr. Emma. And just quickly, I just want to get your thoughts, guys. Did anyone actually care about the Brexit thing at all?
I was going to bring that up earlier, actually. It's funny because it's just been masked. Even me, I didn't even realise the date that we fully was Brexit. I'm like,
it's really scary.
Recently, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we fully.
It's scary. I feel like we were sleeping and then behind us was like, everyone's face full. If you turned around, you'd see mad stuff is going on. So I think a lot of it's going to affect us a lot. It's going to affect every aspect of our lives. But most of us.
How do you think though?
It's an economy. The whole economy is going to change. The whole
even
the way in which we work.
We get a lot of stuff from overseas. So that is going to affect us like medical wise as well.
So do you think you won't have as much medicine, or will be more expensive to get the medicine?
Both, to be honest.
Even in terms of staff, people who come over to work, we can't ignore that. Like a lot of HCAs, a lot of people who actually are genuinely wanted to come and work. There's going to be, and a lot of people don't want to do medicine at times because it's not the most glamorous thing. So there is going to be a shortage of staff, and people who want to recruit more. I think, we don't know, the government might even put more bursaries into different degrees to encourage people to do that. Yeah, because all these people who wanted to come here and do all this job and make an honest living and then go back home, we've cut that route for them.
And we can't forget that a lot of our policies, our rules and regulations come from Europe. So now that we separate ourselves, they can do what they want. So hold tight, let's see.
Let's see what happens. Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We've actually run out of time now, so we're going to have to leave everything there. Let's go around again. If you guys can tell everybody exactly what you do, what your title is, and where they can find you as well on social media.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mary Oladele, and you can find me. I'm a senior therapeutic radiographer. You can find me on at Miss MISS Oladele, which is OLADELE.
My name is Dr. Emma. I'm a dermatology registrar. You can find me on social media at Dr. Emma with an extra 3 A's on the end. So Dr. Emma AAA.
Wait, I'm sorry. Why have you put AAA on the end?
That was my full name before I got married.
Oh,
did you not realise that?
I was thought it was Dr. Emma.
My bad.
Dr. Emma's taken, Dr.Emma's taken, Dr. Emma's taken. They're all taken.
Okay, fair enough.
They're not even using it right now.
0.5 followers.
Not even a thing, but yeah.
Come on. Hi, my name's Aaliyah. I'm a clinical pharmacist. And you can find me on Instagram. It's Miss Aaliyah_, but it's Miss M for mother, S for sugar, ALIYAH_.
Awesome. Sorry, it's me. Guys, you can find me if you care to follow me at Tanisha. Do I have 2 A's? It's Tanisha with 2 A's _ and an X, I think. But you can find all of us at House of Medics on Instagram and on.
We are House of Medics.
That's why you're the medics. That's why they're the medics, guys, and why I'm not the medics. You can find us on Instagram at We Are House of Medics, and our website is
houseofmedics.org.
So we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.